Welcome to the Buccanidiots podcast, motherfuckers!
Yeah, it's Slum National, underground thunderbounds when I stop the ground. Like a million elephants, a silverback orangutan, you can't stop a train. Who wants some, don't come unprepared, I'll be there. But when I leave there, better be a household name.
Buccanidiots, it's your boy, Stank Bastard, King Idiot, back once again for a fresh new episode of the Buccanidiots podcast. It always feels good, as you know. And it feels even better this week because this is playoff week. We're literally days away from seeing playoff Lenny and playoff Donnie and playoff Julio potentially, playoff Chris Godwin, playoff Tom. Right? We start to see a little bit of the swagger come back, which is welcome. Because nobody likes bitch ass Tom. Nobody likes all broken. My life is falling apart, Tom. I'm scared to get hit, Tom. We like, I'm going to fuck you up, Tom. That's what we like. Right? Not I'm throwing my little fucking surfaces and I'm angry. No, we want to see evil Tom. That cuts your heart out, your chest while it's beating and watch it burn in your hand, Tom. That Kalima fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark Temple of Doom, Tom. That's what we want to see. We didn't sign up for this. I didn't pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for my season tickets and travel all over this earth to see a bitch. I want to see the GOAT. And I think that's what we're going to see. I think that's what we're going to see Monday, which you could be watching it Monday pregame. I don't know. Hopefully this hypes you up. You know what I do when I want to get hyped for a Bucs game? I listen to this man right here. Lou. What's up?
Stank, my brother.
What's up, brother Lou?
We here. It's
Yeah.
playoff time.
Yeah.
It's playoff time. Man, fuck that Falcon game, man. I mean, it is what it is, bro. People out there on Twitter crying and shit,
Man,
man.
that's what the Bucs do. We do that well.
Man, come on, guys. Yeah, the fucking reserves out there, man. The coaches put in cats that didn't fucking play all year, man. Gave motherfuckers chances and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Good for the kids, man. You know?
Yeah.
Well, all I'm saying is, whatever, bro. 8 and 9 don't fucking matter. Because this is a new fucking season. It's playoff time. Playoff time, bitches! It's time! It's time to stand up and go get what's ours. Let's go. Let's go. Because it's time to go to Arizona. The march to fucking Arizona starts now, motherfuckers. And the Cowgirls are up to fucking bat. And we fucking dealing, motherfuckers.
We're not scared, are we?
We up to the plate. And we gonna fucking bring it home, baby. We bringing it home. The Cowgirls, they dismissed. Their motherfuckers are dismissed. That got nothing for us, man. Shit. It's gonna be a fucking gravedigger paradise, motherfuckers.
I hope so.
Shit, you know what's gonna happen, man. The boys are gonna fucking go crazy, man. I think we're gonna fucking feast. And then after that, fuck it, man. Let's see what happens from there, man. You know, out of every team out there, bro, they don't got the GOAT. The GOAT, motherfuckers! The GOAT! This is his time. This is his season, man. Playoff time. He gives us a fucking puncher's chance, bro. We in every fucking game from here on out. Zona. Zona or bust.
Zona or bust. I like it.
Operation Desert Storm. Up and running, motherfuckers. Fire the motherfucking cannons and let's fucking go!
Let's go, Lou. Nobody does it better. Nobody does it better. I'm weirdly confident right now. Even before that phone call, I'm weirdly confident. I know. Dak doesn't scare me. None of the NFC quarterbacks scare me whatsoever. None of them. Not even Brock Purdy. Okay. We should be scared of that guy, but I'm not. I'm just not. Get the W at all costs. And we'll hopefully be talking about going to Philly to tear their hearts out again. Let's get some new blood in here. What's up, Janelle? Janelle, my friend on Twitter. We haven't met in person yet, unfortunately, but we will. Hopefully, we'll meet Monday, right? I hear, I see that you're like a talented singer, world-class singer. Maybe you can sing a lullaby to the Cowboys fans as they're leaving the stadium, crying, hoping that Sean Payton's their next coach. What's up, Janelle?
What up, stink bastard? This is Janelle. I would
Howdy.
sing
Oops, I said howdy. I
in
can't
this
say that.
voicemail, but I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
man.
really excited about this game on Monday. I will be in the building, and I hope to see you and the rest of the crew on Monday as well. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs. Short, sweet, perfect. Perfect call. You can hear the confidence in her voice. Does she sound like she's scared? Some bitch-ass Cowboys? No, she's not. Because Janelle ain't scared, and neither should you. You shouldn't be scared either. Let's go out there and let's fucking get that W. And then we can, talk about playing in cold weather games in Philly. We shut down one vet. We shut down the vet. We should shut down that new stadium as well. I can't talk right now. Jeremy, my friend, how are you, sir?
Yo, what it do, Stink? It's your boy Jeremy. I'm fucking pumped. We're gonna whoop the fucking grill out of those fucking Cowgirls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're 12-5. Fuck that 12-5 record. We fucking beat them before, we're gonna beat them again. Get ready, fellas. We're gonna be going in Monday night hungry and show the world, even with the 8-9 record, we're gonna be a scary team. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs. Is there anything more meaningless right now than regular season records? I mean, they're coming here to our house, right? They didn't even win their division. We won our division. So I don't care. I don't care how many games they won. I know one. I'm pretty sure they lost one game that was important early in the season, like the first game of the season. Pretty sure they lost to a team that they might be facing Monday. So, Jeremy, good to hear. Is that your first Buccanidiots call? It might be. Like, why the fuck don't you call every week? I mean, it's probably good, that you don't call every single week. You save it up for the week that matters. Because I can't even get to all the calls today. Honestly, I got to just take a few more because we have a special guest, an interview I did a little bit earlier in the week with JBook, and it's a good one. We were supposed to talk for 10, 15 minutes. We talked for over an hour. So this is a special episode with your boy JBook. Chris, what's up, man?
Yo, Stank, man. This is Chris from Cali, man.
What up,
I don't
Chris?
remember me, but I met you out there out in the Bucs-Ravens game at the tailgate. But,
okay,
man, I just want to say I was the one that called you about when Juno was kept saying fuck the Aints. So first and foremost, I just want to say fuck the Aints.
Always.
But we're on the playoffs, man. We're going to beat them Cowboys. I'm not scared of them at all. I think we'll be all right. As long as our offense wins, scores 20 points, I think we'll be all right, man. So I just want to say, I'm humbled about it, man. 5-6 years ago, fuck, man, all I wanted to get was into the playoffs. And I know Brady kind of spoiled everybody, and Bucs fans are mad that, we had a shitty year. We did have a shitty year, but hey, we're on to the playoffs now, baby. Like I said, 5-6 years ago, I would have dreamed of a home playoff game. So, hey, man, as long as we do our thing, we're going to be in the second round of the playoffs, baby. Let's go.
You're right, Chris. You're exactly right. We are spoiled. I personally remember I guess it's not the first Bucs playoff game, but the one in my era during the Dungy years, camping out overnight in front of the old sombrero outside in the cold for playoff tickets. We're playing the Lions, I want to say. Pretty sure it was the Lions, last game in Raymond James Stadium. And, it was new. We never experienced anything like that before. And we really haven't experienced it many more times since that time. So, yeah, we should not take this shit for granted. I hope we come out in droves. Yes, there's going to be a lot of Cowboys fans there. We all know that. We all know that most of this season ticket holder fan base, they're terrible. Right? We got 30,000+ strong, incredible Bucs fans. Probably a lot more than that just can't come to the game or they live all over the planet. But the ones here locally, those bitches often sell their tickets. Because I know in my section in East Club, it's new people every week. So the people who own those seats don't even come to the games typically. They just sell them off to the highest bidder. But yeah, fuck the Cowboys. I didn't sense fear in your voice. Nobody, the Cowboys don't really strike fear in anybody, do they? I think we got a Cowboy fan that left a message. Some guy, Jerry or something like that. What's up, Jerry?
This is Jerry Jones. Just calling in.
Jerry Jones, the racist?
And where you could call in and kind of confess some of your sins. And, I'm a huge fan of private hotlines, obviously. And
okay.
I thought, what better way than to call this hotline and get some things off my chest so I feel a little bit better before, I make that flight down to Tampa Bay. And I wanted to let you know, it's a little bit interesting. I'm actually rooting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the game.
Okay.
And you might ask yourself, why would
nice of you, Jerry.
The Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, be rooting against his own team, America's team? And
they're not
it's simple, really. I would love to hire Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton is the one that's going to get brought back the Cowboys championships. And I can't do that if Mike McCarthy goes out there and starts winning some games. And, I love Mike. And, he's like a son to me. He's always been that way. But unless he goes out there and loses, I can't fire his piece of shit ass. And it's necessary. So I got some money riding on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm hoping that they win the game.
What a piece of shit you are, Jerry.
My dream boy, Sean Payton. I've been a huge fan of his.
You use that word boy pretty easily. It comes off the tongue naturally.
I just think he's the one, and the players. The Dallas Cowboys have always been about the players. And the players deserve Sean Payton. And, these players are like my children, all of them. Some a little bit darker than I'd want.
What?
They're still my children. And
what did you just say?
They deserve.
You fucking piece of shit.
They deserve to win championships. And it's about time that America's team is back to winning championships. And I can't do that unless I have Sean Payton. So, I know you're not a huge fan, but at least you know that I'm rooting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You're disgusting.
And it's huge for me. I love Tampa Bay. I have a lot of nice establishments down there, obviously. Things that owners enjoy to do. And after hours. In private, of course, just like this private hotline that nobody listens to, but it's more of a confessional. So I'm extremely
I think you've gone a little too far.
You have this hotline and that you've allowed me to call in, obviously. But I wanted to also say, once we hire Sean Payton and that piece of shit Michael loses the game on Monday night, then we can finally be back to being the Dallas Cowboys. And, God bless America and no place else. And of course, God bless the Dallas Cowboys.
You're gross, Jerry. I don't know how you got this number. I guess I can say I appreciate the call, but that was deplorable. Oh, sir, we don't talk like that here on this podcast. First of all right, I know that you probably saw me call you out on Twitter for being a racist cunt, and maybe that's how you got the number. Someone turned you onto it, but ew, gross. Don't ever call again. What? I think he actually left another voicemail. What?
Hey, this is Jerry again.
What do you want?
I wanted to get off my chest.
No, we don't want to hear it.
Listen, I can't stand that Dan Snyder guy.
What?
And,
what does that have to do with the Bucs Redskins? I mean, Bucs fucking Cowboys.
This whole time I fucking knew it. And you know what? He's responsible for changing the name of that damn team. They got what they call the Commanders now. I don't even know what the fuck that means. But I'll tell you what, there was nothing wrong with what they were called before.
We know that you think that.
It was a whole name. And you could told you who they was. And I like that name. And I think the sooner we can get rid of Dan Snyder, the sooner we can bring back that glorious name and make the NFL whole again. Because there's nothing like saying the Dallas Cowboys beat the Washington Redskins. That's glorious, all right? So I just wanted to get that off my chest before I forgot. Appreciate this hotline, as I do all private hotlines, like I said earlier. Now, God bless America, no place else. And, of course, God bless Dallas.
Fuck you. Fuck you, you old racist piece of shit. Sell your team and go off and die. How about that, Jerry Jones? Thanks for the call, though. Enough of this shit, okay? I know why you're really here, and that's to hear me and JBook chop it up. Because JBook's got that special energy. If you guys don't know JBook, you're gonna get to know him here. And without further ado, my friend JBook, Buccanidiots. We got a special guest, the first one since the Buccaneers have been brought back. JBook. I mean, I feel honored that you would want to join this weird ass show.
I think it's safe to say we've been rocking, for a little bit now. So I don't know how, why would it be such an honor? I mean, me, little old me.
People are scared. I don't get it. They're scared of me. They're scared to come on my show. They're scared to get canceled. I don't know where the fear comes from. Everybody knows I'm a little bit of a weirdo, but that's okay. That's okay, because normal people, they scare me. That's why I fuck with people who have life in their soul. That's why I fuck with you.
See, but I fuck with you because my thing is you like to toe the line. My thing, you one of the ones who I feel, that don't mind saying what needs to be said. And anybody that know me know that's the only way I operate. I don't know how to be any other way. So,
I may go over the line from time to time. We may get text messages from people who don't appreciate what I say, but I don't really care.
I get that all the time. At least I would say for the past 21 weeks, I have gotten something, whether it's a DM, a inbox, a text message, a phone call, or something I done did, something that I said that nobody didn't appreciate, or I had to clarify, for them to actually deal with the reality of what I actually said. So, hey, trust and believe. Yeah, you already know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, it's been a crazy season, JBook. But for some reason, you in particular, you got to be a glutton for punishment. I heard that you attended every single game this year.
Yes. Away
games, home games, games in different continents and different countries.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And not only every game, but I would say maybe 4 other trips. I had some detours as well, so I was able to hit a few other spots as well, in between the attending the game. So that was an honor as well, So yeah, but I did it.
That's a financial obligation.
Yeah.
And you had to sit through some bad football.
Yeah. Bad fans. Now the majority of the fans I would say was 1,000. They were great, but it's always the bad apples.
Are you talking about at Raymond James Stadium? Our fans?
Well, not necessarily. Well, actually, I did have 1, maybe 2 incident at Raymond James Stadium, but these away games, I mean, you go encounter, it's something.
Yeah,
it's no way for you to go do something of this magnitude completely unscathed, So, but overall, man, it was dope. It was kind of like one of these dreams as a kid. As a kid,
yeah.
Especially back then when we were kids, how we would always hope that the Bucs would one day hoist, that Lombardi Trophy, and we was able to witness it on 2 occasions. But also as a kid, I wanted to as a kid, I always heard my mom, my dad, or certain family members always talk about, at the time my mom was a flight attendant. So her friends and certain family members, they would always travel, to these away games, and I always had to stay home. I had to stay home with grandma or my older sister while they go to the Buc game. So I was like, when I become a kid, I'm gonna go to every Buc game. So this was kind of like one of these personal dreams that I feel like I had to accomplish, just to say that I did it. But yeah, man, it was wild. I would not trade.
So you come from Bucs fans, like your family. You come from a family.
I'm kind of born into this, and there were times, that I wanted to abandon the ship. Because think about it, I was born in these 14 double-digit losers. I think I probably was born at like maybe if I had my math might not be math of the day, y'all. So bear with me. I'm just waking up.
We don't do math on the show, so we just make shit up.
But I was in the heart. I was born in the heart of that 14 double-digit losing season.
Yeah.
My first winning season when it comes to the Bucs was 1997. Then I'm 41. So do the math. So my first, as a kid, as me born in 81, my first winning season of the Bucs was 1997.
Yeah,
I mean, we know how
that was my first winning season too. I'm a little bit older than you. I'm 46. I'm 1 year older than Tom Brady. That's right, Tom.
What?
Respect your motherfucking elders, okay? You respect your elders. When I talk to you listen. Yeah. So, but I suffered, maybe just a few extra years. I went to my first game in '82, and it wasn't good. It was first Miami Dolphins, and the stadium, ironically, was full of Dolphins fans.
Wow.
I remember telling my dad, like, Dad, why are all these Dolphins fans here?
Well, we're really dealing with that back then.
You got to remember back then too, Tampa was a Dolphins town. Before the Bucs came here, this was Dolphins territory, and in '72 they went undefeated. So
I never knew that.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
This was a Miami Dolphins town. There was no Jacksonville Jaguars. We had one NFL franchise, and so it took a long time to convert the Bay Area over, I guess, I'm assuming, to, follow the Bucs. And eventually they did. But yeah, so your first experience with winning was my first experience with winning.
Wow.
I was just like you. I was that one kid who actually loved the Bucs, and all my friends used to say the sucks, the yucks. Used to laugh at me. I didn't know anybody at all who was a Bucs fans other than my dad, me and him. But I had no friends who were Bucs fans. They were all fans of like fucking Cowboys and 49ers. And
I remember coming up. I remember like a lot of my family members were Cowboy fans. I remember a lot of San Fran fans coming up because I was a Deion Sanders fan. And a lot of things that people don't understand when it comes to, I guess, fans, it was not uncommon for us to be, when I was growing up, or at least with people who I was around, it wasn't uncommon for us to like certain players.
No, I think it's still the case today, though.
Was always the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because that was my hometown. But my favorite player back then was a primetime Deion Sanders.
That's a kid thing, man. Like I didn't have this level of fandom when I was a kid. I did. I love Deion too.
Right.
I love Bo Jackson. I love Barry Sanders, even though he would shithole stomp us every game, but I couldn't. Seeing what he was doing was like incredible to me.
As a kid, I wouldn't even watch the game with the Bucs versus the Lions because Barry would make us look so bad. Then I would have to go to school and I would have to get.
Don't worry, our defense wasn't looking either. Our defense back then, they weren't looking either. They were just watching.
Right, exactly.
They weren't trying to tackle that guy.
So I actually, because the kids call it now, they call it bullying today. So my thing is, I actually used to get bullied, for being a Buck fan, and I still do. I have two stories. Two stories that I vividly remember as a kid when it comes to this whole fandom thing. The first story is I remember being in church. I used to go to Glorious Church of God in Christ as a kid. My mom was was saved. So I was one of the kids that always had to go to church 2 or 3 times on Sundays. Usher board meeting number 1, 2, 3, choir rehearsal. Meeting.
You had a job. You had a full-time job.
I had exactly. Yeah. And here's the crazy shit. I actually went to school at the church. So
I know. My daughter goes to Catholic school, and she has gone to Catholic school since she was 2.
Yeah. So I was that kid. So I remember in church. I remember and I'm paraphrasing. I remember my pastor at the time was on this whole tip of how God ministered to adults through children.
Mm-hmm.
So he did this thing where he called the children, where he prayed for all of the children in the church, and he went up to each child and asked God or asked the child what they wanted God to pray for. So can you imagine? It was kids up there. I prayed that my mom get healed from cancer. Right. Or I pray, that my dad get rid of, from like all kind of like some serious type things that these kids wanted God to pray for.
Yep.
And lo and behold, my ass, I pray that the Bucs can win today. And when I tell you, I remember saying that, and I can hear the whole church air like, did he just really just say that? So of course, my pastor.
Your prayers were eventually answered. It took
It took some years.
It took some years. God said, Tony Dungy, come on down. But it took some time, and people were out there praying, and eventually it happened.
It at least took about another 5 years for that to happen.
Listen, people take that for granted. They assume that eventually, if you're a fan long enough, you're going to have good times and win a Super Bowl. Ask the Lions. Ask Lions fans. Ask Cleveland fans. Ask Atlanta fans. It doesn't eventually happen. Like, we take that shit for granted. Like, we won 2 Super Bowls. There's plenty of teams that have known none. They've really never had anything to cheer about ever. Yeah. And then they can live their whole lives and never have that.
And the crazy thing about those 2 franchises that you mentioned, they ride hard. Like,
of course they do. Ain't shit to do up in Detroit, bro. Fuck, there's nothing to do there. Ain't nothing to do in Cleveland, Ohio. What? Ew. Nobody wants to actually live in that disgusting place.
Are for real.
They are, because they it's like sewn into the fabric, because they've suffered and the grandmothers have suffered. That's one thing I noticed this year. So I haven't traveled very much. I just kind of started my travel journey.
Okay.
Pittsburgh was an eye opener. I got to see what generational fandom looked like. We're riding a train into town, into downtown where the stadium is, because we stayed a little bit outside of downtown. I'm looking around, and there's granny in a wheelchair, old man with his son, and then his grandson, and everybody's Steelered up, and it just had this look on their face like there's no choice. Like, you're a Steeler fan if you grew up in Pittsburgh, but it was a different thing. It wasn't a game to them. That's just part of their identity.
Right.
Whereas, I criticize our fans quite a bit, because our fans outside of maybe a good 30,000 of us, this fan base ain't great. We know that. They tell you to sit down. You're being too loud in your own stadium.
Yeah.
Cheering, and they're TikToking and Snapchatting and doing all kinds of nonsense.
Right.
Instead of actually cheering for the team. But I digress.
And see, and it was Pittsburgh for you. So I think it's safe to say I've been doing this traveling thing for a little bit now. Outside of I don't count Atlanta, Jacksonville. I don't count those, even though that somewhat is a part of the journey. But the heat of this whole
still feels like our people. It's still in the South.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
But the heat of it for me, and outside of this year in particular, it was 2 instances for me. It was one year I went to Green Bay. I think that was maybe 17, I think it's 17 or 8, whatever. The last time outside of the playoff game, the last regular season game we played in Green Bay, that was an eye opener for me. And would you believe it or not, the other eye opener for me was 19 Seattle. The 12th man.
12th man, yeah.
And my thing is, when it comes to Green Bay, I guess the hit that in itself, what that experience did is just pretty much validate what we already know about the Packer fans, cheeseheads.
Yeah.
But when it comes to,
they literally own the team,
right?
They own their franchise.
Oh man, that would be. I would love to actually have a piece of ownership of the team.
They just ain't selling it. They're not. They don't share. They just don't share.
We know that. But Seattle, what I would honestly say, with going to that game, and again, that was the game that we should have won. But what I noticed about the fans is, I've always been a Pete Carroll fan on the side, and it was just crazy, in my opinion, how those fans adapted the personality of their coach. And what I like about Pete Carroll is one of the coaches, in my opinion, that he doesn't waver much. When disaster happens, not only does he not waver, but he's expected to still overall win the game. And every time when bad moments happen during that game in Seattle, those fans never wavered. And they left out of there okay, we knew we was going to be victorious. We knew we was going to win. When it come to us, I know for me, when we score anything that happened in radio at the game, our hearts racing.
Yeah.
For whatever. But one thing I will honestly say about the 12s is they never wavered. And I'll throw this one in too. When we went to the year we played in New England, the craziest shit to me is that I would say 100% of the first level, 100% of the second level, and at least 85% of the third level never sat down. They stood up the entire
so it's like a college environment.
game. Yeah. Stood up the entire game. They did not sit down. And it was like, because they felt like if they sit down, they was going to miss something or they was going to miss a moment. And I thought that was the first time I ever experienced anything like that, where at least, I promise you, it was 100% first level, 100% second level, 100% second level, and at least 85% of the third level.
I'd be good with that. I hate sitting during football games. I would prefer to stand the entire
I like
game.
to move. I like to do shit. Like, if anybody that have seen me perform, I guess it's the safest word that I can have seen me perform. I sit in section 122, row Z, seat 1. If anybody's seen me, I like to move. I'm ADHD. I can't sit still for more than 30 seconds.
See, I hope that in the next version of, Raymond James Stadium, or whatever they ultimately end up calling it, that there is more standing areas. Not like we have in the pirate shit section where you can't see shit unless you're like standing on the front row. Mm-hmm. Like tier it up, have different concourses where you can stand and watch. Pittsburgh had a bunch of standing areas. You could stand all the way up the spiral walkways, and there was all kinds of standing room areas to just congregate. I think that would fit our fandom better too, because I think a lot of people like to drink and socialize, talk to people, but you can't really do that. And now that they've put the Tom Brady bleachers in, you can't even do it on the other side of the stadium. Those will be gone. We all know that's temporary.
And I can't. That to me, it took whatever little energy we have in Raymond James Stadium. Yeah. And I'm not hating on look, we all fans. I ain't hating on the people that purchase. Like, look. But I don't
hate on the people that purchase it. I hate on the owners for taking advantage of it. But whatever. It's they're about that money. They're about the money.
That part, but that removing that it took away, in my opinion, a little small element of the stadium. But hey, from a business
stadiums,
standpoint,
what's been your favorite stadium so far? You went to all 17 games. You've been traveling for a while now. Which stadium, not the fans, but which stadium is just wowed you and you just felt like it was the perfect environment for football?
I have dang, this is tough. Stadiums.
You can marinate on it for a minute. Did you go to Oakland? Or not Oakland, but Vegas? Were you in that stadium, the new one?
So I didn't get a chance to go to the stadium because the year that we played in Vegas was COVID. So it was no fans.
No fans, okay.
But if I had to, can I do two?
Yeah, of course.
The actual stadium, and I'm factoring in the experience, the seats, I'm factoring in multiple components when I choose the stadium. As far as the stadium, oh God, y'all don't hate me. I'm gonna have to go with Dallas.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say New Orleans.
No, but I have an honorable mention.
Okay.
I like Atlanta Stadium. This is why.
A beautiful fucking stadium.
And this is why my only downside to Atlanta Stadium is, in my opinion, it's too fucking dim. Like, they need to light that shit. It's too dim. Sometimes it feels dead, but it looks beautiful. And what I love, I had two.
Well, there's a reason it feels dead. It's
because it's so dark.
Yeah, it's but dark. Not only that, like that. I don't know, that fan base is.
Yeah, their fan base ain't shit, but
they're similar to us when they're winning. I think they, the ATLians ride with that team, but now that it's in the dark era, when we went there last year, I was like, man, this fan base sucks.
The fan base, I'm talking about, even if they're winning, they're leaving to beat the traffic. So, I have nothing positive to say in regards to
some of that too, bro.
The stadium is nice. But do this at one day in your life. You have to experience their club section.
Okay.
And this is why so with their club section, they have seats that you can actually fit in. Now I'm a fat dude, as you know, many of you can see.
I got a big
thing,
wide
it's
ass.
very rare, you know. It's very rare that I feel like I'm sitting in the seat that I'm comfortable in, but not. And of course, like any other stadium, they have access on the inside or whatever. But here's the crazy thing: you actually have on-field access.
Damn.
At that stadium, a lot of people don't know that. So whenever I didn't get to do it this year, but whenever I go to the Falcon Stadium, I try to enjoy the club section. I absolutely love it. So
I will take I'm gonna take your advice and try that.
Yeah, I would try. It was awesome. So that's why I kind of always give the Raymond James 2.0 aka Mercedes Benz. So I always give them a little extra, for the little extra ledge.
What was your favorite game you attended this year? I think
favorite game,
but
I'm gonna have to do a 1A and a 1B. Right. Now, the best game I've attended, of course, would be London for this reason, but I have a 1B.
Okay.
The best game I would say I have attended.
I meant this season, but
this season. I'm talking about this season.
You mean Munich?
This season.
Man. Munich.
No, in Munich. This season. I'm talking about this season. My 1A and 1B is this year.
Okay.
So with Germany, every year I always have, when it comes to a fandom, I always have this humbling experience that really makes me, kind of, have to be grateful for the things, a lot of the things that we take for granted. Like with us living in Tampa, we take the water for granted. We take our location for granted. We don't realize that we the central location in Florida, and we 2.5, 3 hours away from Miami. We 45 minutes from Orlando. We surrounded by water. Like a lot of the things that people enjoy, that they dream of, we have it here.
We live where people vacation.
Exactly. Yes. So, so every year I always, have an experience where I kind of have to like regroup and be humble when it comes to being a fan of this team. So this year, of course, it was Munich, because when we in America, when we go to games, there's a competitive nature with us. Like, so our fandom is different when the competitive piece of it is involved. But with those fans, it's not a competitive nature. It was just the mere fact that they were at an NFL game.
Right.
So just to be around that atmosphere, they didn't give a what team you rep for. I mean, this is probably the most pictures I've had to take in my life, because it wasn't just, taking a picture with a Bucs super fan. It was just, oh my God, this is a super fan of a team. So, and a lot of people don't realize it was Bucs fans. Yes, it was Seattle fans, but the amount of NFL fans that was at the game, and of course,
when they panned to the stadium, you saw every team's jersey.
Right.
Yeah.
And then at the Mayu, and I hope that if Raymond James don't continue, because I guess they did a little bit of this when we won the division, but what's that song?
Country Roads.
Country Roads.
Yeah, they've done basically every time we won in Raymond James, they played it. Since then,
you had to have been there. You had to have been there in order for that experience. Like, I can't even explain it. Like how monumental that's an experience that I think will have to go down in history, in some form of history, in Tampa Bay Buccaneers history. It has.
Even Tom, who's done it all, seen it all, he seemed to be taken back by that experience. Like he said he'd never experienced anything like that.
Yeah,
that says a lot, right?
Right.
What more can he experience, bro? It's like at this point, it's all a bonus for that guy.
Right.
What have you seen? Oh wait, you got one more stadium.
I got that one more. I got that 1B. And I'm gonna make it. I'll give it 10 seconds. That 1B was the Saints this year. that game week 2, and this is why. Walking in that stadium, you can feel the intensity from both Saints fans and Bucs fans, and just to be in the vicinity and me pointing and calling out every single Jameis interception, including the pick six. Including the pick six. I didn't go in there. I didn't trash talk. I didn't do nothing because I already knew the energy was high, and that was gonna be the state. That was gonna be the time.
But we're not rivals, JBook.
I called.
They don't care. Remember, they don't care about us.
Oh, right. Yeah. We not their rivals, but to call out every single INT to the T plus the pick six.
Yep.
That was the greatest. I was a Jameis dude when he was in Tampa.
Still am.
Anybody know Jameis is, but we know Jameis. We know them little moments.
I still fuck with Jameis as a man. As a football player.
I love Jameis. I love that. I love his family. Like, just,
as long as he's got that jersey on, I can't do it.
Exactly. And luckily enough, I was able to even have, a conversation with some of the Jameis family members. And I was like, look, hey, I will always love you. I will always support Jameis, but as long as he wearing that jersey, I can't do it. But it was that moment. That was a monumental moment for me. So that was the first time that I actually had security had me wait, and I had to be escorted out of the state and all of that. So I have to go.
There's a reason we haven't traveled to New Orleans yet. Me and Sammer, like Latte. He don't talk that shit. Yeah, bro. I mean, we were getting death threats. They. I won't go into specifics off camera. I'll tell you a lot. A lot of Saints fans, they clearly don't appreciate me and Sammer at all. So there's a reason we took a little bit of hiatus from traveling over there because you trying.
Okay. Well, learn something new every day.
Oh yeah, exactly. So you've seen this team go through it this year. Yeah. I mean, you've been around the team. You've been at every single game. You've seen every single play in person. Mm-hmm. What's gone wrong this year?
Ooh. Okay, let me go ahead and say it. And because I know I spoke on this a lot, and many people, maybe a lot of Buck fans don't agree with my stance. With this, and even with what I'm about to say, and actually the timing of this, because I know we getting ready. Oh, we getting ready for playoffs. So actually, I'm gonna keep it light. No,
you don't have to keep it light because we're gonna transition into, because regardless of what you say right now, we accomplished the goal, right?
Yeah.
But I still want it. But what this team has gone through is real. So
right, and it's reality.
Yeah.
And on top of, and this does not take away the love, the respect, the gratefulness that I have for Tom Brady just for the 3 years that he has been here. And I have a lot of blame towards Todd Bowles. I have a lot of blame towards Byron Leftwich, but I just think that a lot of this, in my opinion, it falls just Tom Brady hasn't been the same for the first 16 games.
Yeah. I think he would admit that.
First 15 games, I would say. First 15. If does the offense have something in store for this new season, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't put nothing, even with what we went through this year, as long as Tom Brady is my quarterback, I always had this sense of confidence, or that anything that can happen. So
I'm assuming you still do. You still do.
Let's be clear.
Yeah,
I just don't agree and like the offensive philosophy this year. My thing is that whatever the previous offensive philosophies, one won us a Super Bowl, and two, the second year should have won Tom Brady the MVP. I don't give a damn what the hell anybody got to say. 2020, 2021. Tom Brady was the most valuable player of the NFL, and I would ride that to the day that I die. He was robbed that year. But it seems that the offensive philosophy took a complete shift this year, and I just don't think it worked in our favor. And people can say whatever they want to say about the defense. The defense, is to be blamed on something, but at the end of the day, men lie, women lie, numbers don't, and the defense was averaging less than 20 points a game.
Yeah.
So even at moments where we failed to produce turnovers, we failed to produce sacks, they still, the defense is still scoring less than 20 points a game.
Well, that's why stats don't matter, because
right.
You can look at how many points offenses have put up on our defense, but when in plenty of games where our defense was getting off the field and getting the ball right back to our offense, and then our offense wasn't doing shit with it, eventually defense is going to break. These guys are humans, and we don't necessarily have the best depth in the world on defense. So yeah, eventually we wore down in a lot of games and gave up points, but what do you expect when your offense isn't doing shit?
And my thing is, we won, but we 8-9 this year, and luckily enough, it was enough to get us the division. But my thing is, if the offense was figure out a way to put up 21 to 24 points, and I would think that we'll be sitting with 11 to 12 wins, in my opinion.
Yeah,
11 to 12 wins.
And why do you think that is? I mean, be specific. What went wrong with this offense? And I know there's a lot of places to point the finger. What specifically do you think was the main culprit for the failures we've had on offense?
I'm gonna give you three.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you three, and I know one of them is I'm gonna save to the end because I know it's gonna be real intense. The first one I would say I would have to put some of the responsibility on the offensive line. I think the offensive line was one of the worst offensive lines we've ever had? No, they were not. They've had their moments. However, week 17, I'm sorry, week 18, well, whatever the game that we played the Panthers, that was evident. If Tom Brady get a little bit more time, he can do his thing. So I'll put a little bit, not solely, but I'll put, some of this on the offensive line where it was times that, where we lacked in a running game, where Tom didn't get the time that he needed. So I'll put a little bit on the offensive line. The second thing is, I can give a little bit of that to Gronk. And I think what we miss, so a lot of people think that Gronk's pass catching ability was absolutely epic. And it was, just in addition of what it is, that was able to kind of put us over the hump. The chemistry between Gronk and Brady, that was just an added addition, in my opinion. But a lot of people failed to realize how great Gronk was blocking on the line.
Right.
So us not having that element, I think that played a role in it, specifically to the running game, in my opinion. So that's two. The third, this is where things going to get touchy. The third, and this was this started to be a little bit more apparent for me as the season. I would start around week 10, week 11, around that time. I won't say AB, but I would say AB like speed and AB like skill set. And we tried to get that in 19 with Rashad Berryman, and that went nowhere. We tried to create, these wrinkles in 2020 with Scotty Miller, but it wasn't enough to shift coverage away from Mike Evans. So we didn't start getting that until we got AB-like speed and AB-like skill set. We tried to, I guess, get that with Russell Gage and with Julio Jones this year, and unfortunately, it did not happen.
Right.
AB skill set, not just speed, because a lot of people say we lack speed, and that is true. It's also a certain level of skill set, because it was that speed and it was that skill set that made up for the lack of mobility that Brady has in the pocket. So I think if we was, so that's why when we, the Odell Beckham rumors, in my opinion, that the Odell Beckham rumors, I will bet my bottom dollar, that there was some validity to
for sure
those rumors because of the speed and because of the skill set. And I think
Jason Light wants to add weapons.
Yes.
The rumors about trying to bring Gronk back, real.
Yeah.
Did they talk to Odell? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's even up for debate.
Right. And I think that's the main thing that's missing this year is that I guess the best way for me to say is that AB like speed and skill set. And I
don't think that's controversial at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take it a step further. The Arians offense with Gronk and AB, you just named two Hall of Famers, right? They allowed us to do so much, right? The safeties had to respect the deep ball. Safeties had to, corners had to respect everything that AB could do. He's a weirdo as far as a human being is concerned, but there's no question he's one of the greatest NFL wide receivers of all time. Of all time. Mm-hmm. If you look at just physically, there's nothing special about that guy. Mm-hmm. But on the field, he's a monster, and he has been forever. Like, he's single-handedly, won games for Pittsburgh. And when we brought him in here, it gave us something different. Gronk obviously owns the middle of the field, and we haven't been able to attack the middle of the field all year long. And I think what's really underrated about Gronk's game, and I've said this on Loose Cannons before, in plenty of discussions, Gronk was that lotion, man. Like, when everybody's asshole is puckered as tight as possible, and we're making mistakes each week, and everybody's scared to make a mistake, and Mike Evans drops a pass, and everybody, like, it just seems like we're playing so fucking tight. Gronk was that big dummy in the huddle that was just goofing off, like not taking it seriously. It was always a kid's game to that guy, and that's the feel he brought to the huddle. That's the feel he brought to the offense. Like, chill, like we're going to do this. Having that guy, missing that kind of personality in there, because I think we started off playing tight. We just got we got tighter and tighter and tighter. Tom got tighter and tighter and tighter. Everybody was just walking on eggshells, trying not to fuck up. And you know what happens when you try not to fuck up? You fuck up.
You fuck up.
Yeah. And so we saw a lot of fucking up. And so I think, what Tom was going through, I think just the pressure got to us. The pressure got to us, and we didn't have that release valve. And I feel like Gronk was that guy who was just that release valve. And, there's a lot of factors that go into it. Everyone you mentioned, obviously the low hanging fruit. People can blame Leftwich. I think he's a big part of it. People can blame Tom, because I think he's a big part of it. He's a big part of the game planning. He's a big part of the play calling. He's a big part of the execution. And I think it was some self-preservation going on, which brought that conservative nature to this offense. And I don't think we have the skill set to do what they tried to do. Right? We're not a quick passing game offense. We don't have quick passing game skill players. We don't have speed guys who can take that 2-yard bubble screen to the house. We've got physical guys who can out physical you, with the ball downfield. You got a guy like Godwin who's like a hybrid fucking, he can do it all, but he's not a speed guy. He's not going to take the top off. We don't got separation guys. We don't, but what they do well, they're some of the best at doing that. But we tried to become this quick hit offense without having the personnel to beat.
No, I agree 1,000%. Yeah.
Yep.
I agree 1,000%.
So we saw something different in that Carolina game. We did see them go back to what this offense does well, which is use our big physical guys down the field. And it takes Tom trusting the protection. It takes protection in the first place to be able to do that type of thing. I don't think there's any question that that's the recipe with this offense. Whether Tom gets killed doing it or not, at this point, you got nothing to lose, right? It's win or go home. So it's easy for me to speak for another man's health.
Right.
But I think that they all know at this point. Seeing what we've seen for 17 games and seeing what we saw in the Carolina game, it's obvious what we need to do.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going to loosen shit up, because defenses haven't respected us all season.
What that Carolina game showed me two things. And believe it or not, I actually respected not only the Bucs, but I respected the Panthers' approach as well. And the Bucs, in my opinion, winning this game, like, we go take away your best option, which is the run. So if you go beat us, it's gonna be Dalton.
Yep.
And I feel that the Panthers kind of went in with the same approach. And what I saw, it was just two teams lining up, and hey, may the best man win.
Yep.
And that's what it appeared like to me. And that game, that was the one game where the offensive line was able to give Brady that extra second.
Yep.
And when giving him that second, we was able to see that magic. And as much praise I could give Brady, and as much I guess criticism I can give Brady, one of the things I can honestly say with the 3 years that Brady has been here, that is beautiful to see every single time, Brady's pump fake. Like, it's something about that pump fake that is beautiful. Like, you know how they had that meme, like if Brady sitting down on the sideline and his head down, you know, you pretty much hang it up because he finna gas you, he finna go out and win the game. The one for me is that pump fake. When Brady in that pocket and he do this little wiggle of the shoulders, hang it up, it's over.
Well, we've been setting up the pump fake all year. Like, they don't do it enough.
It's something about that.
You got corners Brady, just sitting on that short pass.
Man, when Brady do that little wiggle, hang it up.
Yep.
Hang it up. It's over. He about to gas you. And to see that 1 or 2 times a game.
I would love to see it 1 or 2 times a game. They don't do it. They don't do it nearly enough. You know, right now, Dallas has been watching tape, obviously, the first game, and really of what we've been doing all season long. They know exactly what's coming, or they think they do. And we generally have an idea of what they're going to do on offense as well.
Right.
But you know, I think we flipped the script a little bit in this game. I think we do take advantage of all our tells because we got so many, right? We all know what's coming. We've all seen it. You know, we're still going to run the ball poorly. I promise you that, just because we're not a great run blocking team. We get defeated one-on-one up front way too much for us to be a good running football team. I think we've always been a much better pass blocking unit up front than we have been run blocking. We just don't have that style. We're not a downhill football team.
Right.
Although they'd love to be that, we're not that. So, you know, maybe they put pride aside this week and they come up with the gem of the game plan. What do you see in this Dallas game? What are you feeling, man? What are you pulling out of that universe? What are the Cosmos telling you?
Be honest with you, Cosmo was telling me a few things even in the Atlanta game.
Okay.
I don't know if I saw some wrinkles that I have, and I hope I'm not putting my foot in my mouth, not putting, you know, but my thing is, I've seen a few wrinkles in the Atlanta game, things that I've never seen during the season. So
that was the game to do it, right? That was going to try it out. They should have been doing all kinds of shit. I want to see some ring around the rosies, bro.
Yeah,
you could have done
I've seen some
that.
wrinkles. You know, so my thing is, as far as I'll start with the defense.
Okay.
I watching the Current last night. I think Golston said it best. I'm talking about he nailed this to the T, and I'm just paraphrasing on what it is that he said. You know, sometimes though the teams you have your meat, you have your potatoes, you know, and pretty much that's the core of your meal. But then when teams kind of, you know, throw in their asparagus, you know, what we go do to counter that. And what that communicated to me is that Bowles is going to do what he's been doing since he's been here when it comes to the defense. He's just going to have looks that offenses haven't seen. Every now and then he go throw in a little wrinkle that the opposing offense hasn't seen, and that's going to work in our favor.
JBook,
so it's going to be.
We haven't been healthy on defense. I think it's understated how fucking banged up our secondary has been all year long. It's been musical chairs back there at safety.
Mm-hmm.
It's been musical chairs at corner. We had games where D. Delaney was start, like, we've been banged the fuck up. This we may see for, I don't know, it may be the first time all year where you got Logan Ryan Edwards playing safety, Winfield playing nickel, and Dean and Carlton outside. Like, how long has it been since we've seen that unit together? I can't remember the last time.
Literally listening to you say that, actually, I'm thinking in my mind, like, wow, when was the last time? Like, I can't remember. I really honestly cannot remember.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a stats guy, but I'm sure somebody can tell us how many games they've all played together. I don't know. Maybe outside of the first couple games of the
first.
But then Logan Ryan went down for quite a while at the beginning of the year.
I think Logan Ryan went down the Saints game. Was it the Saints game?
Maybe week 2.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe outside of that first game, we haven't really seen this unit play together like Bowles is intended. And then you got a guy like Keanu Neal, who's supposed to be the Joker type, who can play linebacker, who can play down. That's what Bowles was known for, right? Using additional safeties and doing wild shit, bringing linebackers. I think you've seen Devin White's game change under Bowles, because you can bring that guy from anywhere. He's best when he's rushing the quarterback. He got to Dak a couple times in that first game, and I expect that they are going to be bringing Devin White right in Dak's face quite often this game if they're fucking smart about it. So you're right. The asparagus is going to be served in that game,
right?
And hopefully they're playing at that high level, because personnel wise, Dallas doesn't scare me. CD's a beast. We know that, right? We understand that their strength has been in the run game, which is what we've shown that our strength is as well in stopping the run. So they're going to have to beat us passing the ball, right? And I think ultimately, if our offense is on, right, and Brady's on, and he's, we've seen it all year. Brady's only had a handful of games where he's like, oh shit, he's dealing.
Yeah,
we put pressure on them to score points, right? We get out early, we put pressure on them to score points. I think we roll. Obviously, if the opposite occurs, they start putting up points, and we're playing from behind with the run game they have, we're in trouble. So,
and for me, just going back to the defense, like you have pointed out, that the secondary have been banged up all year, but we can count on as many hands as many times that Vita and Knicks.
Oh yeah, our rotation is up.
And my thing is, and when the both of them are in the game, that serves us in the defensive running game. But then with the offense, one of the things that I did not realize when it comes to Dallas defense, I didn't realize the shifting of their secondary. Like they've had a lot of changes in their secondary as well. So, and what made me look into that was more, I listened to the Mike Evans, interview, and he was talking about, the style of defense, that they played, that they had a lot of changes in their secondary too, which is going to work in our favor. That was a wrinkle that Panthers game that I think that Brady and Evans was able to exploit. Right. So I foresee that something similar happening with this game as well, because they had a lot of changes in the cornerback position outside of number 7, and it wouldn't surprise me if they even have what's old boy name, Diggs. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't see them having Diggs trail Mike Evans. So I don't think that's go.
I'm good with that.
I don't think that's good, because my thing is Godwin go eat.
Well, I was gonna say, JBook. First of all, there's not a corner in the league outside of maybe Lattimore that can really hang with Mike one-on-one. And I'll say it forever. Mike's never covered. So put the ball in the right spot. I don't care who's guarding him. He's a NBA power forward. Just throw it up and allow him to come down.
Dallas playing single high. Do you see them playing single high the bulk or majority of this game?
I don't know. I don't really follow Dallas like that.
Okay.
But I don't see them. That'd be a bad choice. And I think there's a couple X factors. Everybody's been banged up. We've had Julio on a pitch count. Gage has been banged up. That doesn't apply this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
I tweeted that out yesterday. I'm hoping we see playoff Julio, right? Because Julio hadn't been in the playoffs very much in his career,
right?
And this is his opportunity to get a ring. This is his best opportunity to get a ring since the failure, the 28-3 game. And now he's got the GOAT on him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect, who are you going to put on Julio, right? Godwin's going to own the middle of the field, which has kind of been his role in this offense, specifically since our tight ends really aren't a threat to anybody. Although we saw Kyle Rudolph, who I forgot played for this team against Atlanta. Who the fuck is number 8, bro? Sammer said Mike Glennon just caught a pass. Who the fuck is that?
Oh, wow.
Bro, I was like, holy shit, I forgot. So maybe they've been keeping him in bubble wrap, for this particular scenario, because Otten's been hot and cold.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree Cameron Brate's done. He hadn't looked like himself at all this year. So, from a pass catching perspective, he's done. That guy needs to retire after this year. And we all love Cameron Brate, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got so much out of that guy that nobody ever expected. He's a smart fucking player, and he had some really good seasons for us, but he's done. So as far as being a threat, there isn't one.
Right.
Yeah, man. I just hope we open it up, man. I hope we come gunning, right?
And the Atlanta game, the series that Brady played, I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, are we finna start open some things up? Because I really see some wrinkles that we haven't seen.
Yep.
All year. And you said it best. That was the perfect time for us to do it.
Yeah.
So my thing is, if that's a preview of what this new season, like my favorite defensive player said, Levante David, like he said, this new season.
Speaking of Levante David, not that he ever disappoints, but he might be playing at the highest level I've seen him play in years right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he is locked the fuck in right now. He is. Yeah. He's always going to be underrated. He's soft-spoken. He's never been a me guy. He'll never get the credit he deserves as being one of the best linebackers, in football.
Mm-hmm.
He was always overshadowed by Luke Kuechly when Kuechly was here. Just never really got
and Malcolm. What's the
Fred Warner and
no, not Fred. Because Kuechly, Levante, and he plays the linebacker for the Rams. That was with Seattle.
Yeah,
their middle linebacker.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I think they was all drafted the same year.
Yeah. They were all drafted around the same time. They all put up major numbers, and Levante just never gets the love because he's not out there pounding his chest and doing interviews and talk about me. He's never been a me guy,
right?
And he'll go down as arguably LB2 in this franchise, and if he plays long enough, he'll break Derek Brooks' records. Although I went back and looked recently, just because I kind of try to keep an eye on those things, because I maybe put my foot in my mouth one time and got called out by Warren Sapp saying Levante's could be better than Derek Brooks. And Warren Sapp said, I guess saw the tweet and was like, "You're foolish," and he unfollowed me. But I deserve that. Like I said, I sometimes I get emotional. I say crazy things. But Levante, he's playing really well right now.
He is. He really is. Levante is playing very well. He's very serviceable in
I think Devin White's playing well right now. I think our defense right now, you know, especially knowing that we're going to get our secondary pieces back, I'm expecting big things. Pass rush is always a concern, right? After losing Shaq, you never know where it's going to come from.
And JTS and Nelson playing every defensive snap. That's unheard of. But I think we get Nassau back this year. But
I trust Bowles is going to be creative and bring blitzes and bring the linebackers and manufacture that pass rush that we don't necessarily get rushing for.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect that.
Give Devin White give him his kudos.
Yeah.
I think the episode that I was on Loose Cannons, I went very hard on Devin White and JTS, and I'm still kind of on the fence with JTS, but Devin White.
It's not an effort thing with JTS though.
It's not an effort. It's not an effort. But when it comes to Devin White, I have to give that man. It's right. Devin White has been playing great.
That's the frustrating thing with Devin. We all know what he's capable of, which is why I think so many people go so hard on him and criticize him when he's not focused and he's not into it mentally, or he's physically drained and still out there trying to do his job.
Mm-hmm.
You look at how that guy is put together, right? You know, if anybody watches the UFC, I mean, he's got so much muscle mass. He's not like that long, lean guy who can run forever. So guys like that, you know, they have a certain amount of gas in the tank because you know, the way he plays, that style he plays takes a lot out of him. So he's not meant for extra innings, bro. He's not meant for being on the field fucking, you know, that many snaps.
Right.
Yeah, he's just not. And there's a lot of guys who aren't. Obviously, the big guys up front, you see them gas all the time. They don't really get the criticism because you expect that big guys are going to gas out. Brady gasses out.
And then also, too, to point out, in addition to that, all of what he does on the defense. So, you know, he rushes the passer.
Yep.
You know, he's in coverage.
Yep.
You know, he's on the running downs. You know, so
correct.
For all of what he's responsible of doing, and these are things, you know, I guess I didn't realize, you know, when I was on that, you know, episode of Loose Cannons, those things that, you know, we could have possibly factored in, you know, at that time, you know, but, you know.
Yeah, but you want your stars to find that extra gas. You want them to.
Right.
I think he would admit he deserves, if at very least, he should have tapped out and gotten some rest to, you know, and, you know, had Britt in there or somebody, because he just didn't have the gas in the tank anymore, or taking a series off to rejuvenate himself. You know, and the rusty nail gets the hammer.
Right.
You know, like he's the first one out there pounding his chest. And so when shit goes bad, he's the one who's going to get the criticism. That's part of the deal. You want to be that guy. You don't see people criticizing Levante, but I promise you, he gasses out too. Right? He's not going to get that criticism because he's not that loud, boisterous, look at me, shit talking, you know, yelling at the crowd, pointing fingers at people. But Devin is. So when shit goes bad, the first one they're going to run to is Devin. That's why. Yeah,
he owned it. And my thing, I'm more impressed. I'm more impressed at how he owned it. Like, and my thing
that's why Gerald McCoy was so hated, because he was the one always talking. If Gerald McCoy had William Golston's personality, where he was just do his job and be behind the scenes, he'd be looked at as he should, by the way, as one of the greatest Buccaneer defenders of all time.
But my thing is, if it wasn't McCoy, then who? Because it has to be somebody. Because my thing is, if no one, and I'm gonna have to defend McCoy on this, during that time, if no one spoke up, then it would have been, the Bucs don't have any leaders.
Right.
You know, on the team.
I'm just saying, like, you put yourself in that position as being the face of the team, the mouth of the team, the one who's in front of the camera all the time. When shit goes wrong, people are going to look at you and blame you, and you're going to be under that microscope. And that's why I kind of compare Devin and Gerald in a lot of ways. Both phenomenal guys, right? But the ones out there talking. What we like about Devin, though, is that he's got the dog in him. And Gerald had that nice guy persona, which people don't want. Especially after 99 was in the building. Everybody wanted Gerald to be 99. They wanted him to stand over quarterbacks and intimidate, and that just wasn't his game. He was going to pick quarterbacks up and pat him on the ass.
Don't get me wrong. I like the dog. Don't get me wrong. I like the dog, but my thing is that's just not who he was, Right. So Gerald was one of the players that I had to totally respect what he did in between the whistles, and that's that. But you're right. And I guess when you have a player, like Warren Sapp, that's our ceiling. So any defensive player, that come in the building, we're gonna always compare it to that ceiling. So that's unfortunate, for the people that come behind Warren Sapp, because we ain't gonna never get a player like Warren Sapp.
JBook, I feel bad for Trask or whoever it is that has to follow Tom Brady. It's going to be ugly for them, bro. I'm sorry, because
we've never seen a player of Tom Brady's caliber to ever come into this franchise ever.
Oh,
ever.
But somebody's got to follow that guy. Yeah. and I feel for him because you're never going to be able to fill those shoes. And so we're going to be like New England in a weird way, even though they had 20 plus years of that guy. We're always going to be looking for that next Tom because we've got a taste of what it is. You can't go back to enjoying a steak at Outback and pretending it's delicious when you go to Council Oak or you go to Burns and see what a real good steak tastes like. Then you go to Outback and like, what is this?
For me, it's Eddie V's.
But you understand, like once you taste that quality, you can't pretend anymore that steak is what they're claiming it to be. So.
And I don't think that it's just the quarterback position. I think it's any player. We've never had a player of Tom Brady's caliber ever. I mean,
nobody has, by the way. Outside of maybe Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Guys like that don't exist, or Terry Bradshaw. Guys who you can't ever really criticize because their resume is bulletproof.
Yeah.
And there'll be, there probably never will be another guy like Tom. So I guess we have to enjoy it. What I'm kind of hoping is we get something different. I see all these running quarterbacks. I see all these different style of offenses we've never really had here in Tampa. I'm kind of ready for that, for us to get into modern day football.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I may put my foot in my mouth and regret it.
I'm not gonna rush it. That my thing is, I've been enjoying this this Brady wave since he's been here, and for me, if we can ride that wave for one more, because I don't.
Of all the shit I talk, JBook, because everybody knows how I feel about Brady.
Yeah, I don't think Brady is a wash.
No, neither do I.
Do I think that we have to put certain pieces in place for him to thrive? Absolutely, we do need that A/B type skill set and speed, because I think that is what kind of supplement Brady's lack of mobility, and the offensive line has to be what it needs to be in order for Brady to be successful.
Listen, I'm okay if they want to stay with the style offense they're trying to run right now. I'm okay with it, but you better bring in personnel that can run it.
Thank you. That part. So I don't mind, me personally, I don't mind, riding this wave, forever, because I'm enjoying this wave. I'm not gonna lie, but I agree with you 100%. Then I'm ready for the quarterback for the modern day. I'm ready for that.
Yeah, too. I've called for Brady to sit the bench this year. I've been frustrated with this play at times. Obviously, I'm an emotional Bucs fan. I say a lot of crazy shit. Do I want Tom to come back next year? Of course I do.
Me too.
Of course I fucking do. I don't want this ride to ever end, but eventually it will one day. And I don't think anybody's above criticism. So
that was me.
The more people hate that I even question Tom, the more I question him. That's just how it is.
My thing is they think that they thought, and I guess that's where I got a lot of my heat, because what I did was I compared, because just because you mentioned Jameis, they automatically with James. I compared.
Yeah, this fan base was always going to compare the two.
The seasons where a lot of the issues that we have in this year, we had those same issues in 2019.
Absolutely.
And Jameis was the only one that got that heat. Well, why are we, why can't Brady get some of these criticism? And I'm like, because he won a Super Bowl with us, in 2020, or because he's this GOAT. In my opinion, that doesn't, mean that we can't speak on the obvious.
No, most people look at footballs on the surface level. They're not looking at it year to year, game to game.
Right.
So, and they feel like he's Teflon, he's above criticism. But as fans, who follow the game closely and follow every player, we see it differently. I'm comparing Tom Brady to Tom Brady.
So, thank you.
You don't even need to compare him to Jameis Winston. Look at him over the last.
I agree with that.
And look at him this year.
No, but my only reason why, I agree with that 1,000%. But my only reason why, in just comparing again the seasons, is because the people was these same excuses in 19.
Yeah,
that was the same. These are the same excuses they're using to defend Tom Brady. That's all I was pointing out.
Tom's in the same scenario where we can't run the ball, where our receivers are having issues getting downfield in the time allotted for him to throw the ball. Tom's not willing to take the chances that Jameis was, and we saw some spectacular shit because of that. And we both bad and good.
Spectacular for who?
I'm saying with Jameis having no run game and no protection up front, he was still willing to go out there or sit in the pocket, take some hits, and get the ball downfield. Tom's not willing to do that. What I'm trying to say is we saw some spectacular shit from Jameis on both ways, doing that, forcing the ball or holding onto the ball and trying to throw guys open. And Tom is not going to
agree, and Tom is not willing to do it. And I get that, and
I just want some of it though. I just want a little bit of it, because regardless of, my criticism is regardless of what plays Leftwich is calling, if you're not going to give those plays time to develop and you're going to go with your first read and predetermine, or you're always going to hit your check down guy because you're hearing ghosts or you're feeling, you hear footsteps, it doesn't really matter. You can't get creative necessarily.
And my thing is the lack of points. For the life of me, how is it that we could go number one, number two in the red zone? We automatic in the red zone, and we pure shit this year
because we try to push the ball down 3 yards at a time to the goal line and then run it in versus using our personnel, right, and attacking the end zone from outside the 20 or even outside the 10. Instead, we try to push the ball and they try to get it towards the goal line. Their goal is to get it into the red zone or get it inside the 5 and then attack the end zone. To me, that's not how you it just gets tighter and tighter and tougher and tougher and tougher the closer you get to the goal line.
Because people forgot last year teams had to score 30 to even have a chance at winning a game. A chance. Not to win the game, having a chance.
That goes back to mentality. Attacking, that attack mentality we don't have anymore. And it could be personnel. It could be who's in that headset now. We don't have BA in there anymore saying, take a shot. I agree. BA wasn't calling the plays, but BA was definitely in that headset talking to Leftwich, at least orchestrating that aggressiveness. and that's not there anymore. So there's nobody there anymore to push them to get aggressive when it's needed. You know, that field play, like we need to take a shot here for whatever reason. Defense is getting too aggressive up front. Let's take a shot. You know what I mean? When he sees the safeties inside in the box, both of them, you know, and you got to make them pay for that kind of shit. But we're just willing to run the ball into that or throw the short pass into that versus, you know, having a guy like that in there saying, fuck that. We're taking their heads off here and we're going to attack them versus, you know, just trying to get into third and manageable, which is why I don't know if you saw the book I created. You know, BA's got that book, No Risk It, No Biscuit.
Yeah.
Leftwich wrote one. A lot of people don't know about it. It's called Third and Manageable by Byron Leftwich.
What?
Yeah. Copies available. Lots of copies available. Because that's his goal. That's his goal right there.
I thought you done threw up my whole. Oh my God.
JBook, predictions for this game. Because we got to wrap it up here. I have to hit the I got a meeting. Got to hit the
prediction. Let's go. You know what?
I don't even need score.
27-20 Bucs. 27-20.
How's the game going to go? Like, what's your feeling as far as like how it's going to go? So you think we ultimately come out with a W? I do too, by the way.
Yeah, I think we go win this game. I'm not impressed. Oh, I don't want to, you know, knock on. Actually, no, I'm not going to put that in the atmosphere in regards to Dak. But my thing is, I think we're gonna get out early. I think we go get a couple of scores early. I think the offense is gonna do some wrinkles and do some things, you know, that we haven't seen this year, and that's gonna be enough to get us over the edge. I foresee the defense putting enough pressure on Dak to where some things, you know, that might be successful, but I can see, you know, a slip up here and there. I can see a turnover here and there, and I think that's what's, you know, gonna get us over the hump when it comes to this game. So I'll go with 27-20 Bucs.
I like it. I think we get over 31 points this week. I feel like it's going to be a struggle.
Yes, let's do it.
I don't think a Tiger changes its stripes, so we're going to see a lot of fuckery out there. But I think ultimately we've got something they don't, which is experience. I feel like we're not going to waver. If we get down 14-0 in the first half, I don't feel like this team wavers. I feel like we do have that weird belief. We are battle tested. We've seen what happens to Dallas when shit starts going off the rails. They don't really have that leader, and they really crumble. We don't do that. I don't expect we're going to see a completely different team out there all of a sudden, because I don't believe football works that way. I've been around it too long. I coached it. You are what you are. Now we have the pieces that, you know, we've got all we got the recipe to be great. But we just haven't shown it this year, and that's kind of what worries me. I don't know that we're all of a sudden going to look the way we think we're going to look. I think we get there though, through the mud, like we always have this year. We get there through the mud, and we end up beating Dallas. And I think the defense plays a big part in that. I really do.
Yes, sir.
JBook, you got to do this more often, bro. It's a pleasure. I know you got so much more to say. I can't even, and we got a big long off season coming. Hopefully after the Super Bowl parade, the boat parade. Hopefully after that, we've got a whole long off season to talk about what comes next, what went wrong, what went right, and what the answer for the future is here. How can people follow you, man? I know you own the airwaves on Facebook. And I don't go on that app very often because it turns my stomach.
Man, I want to get in on Twitter, but I don't know how to shift that from Facebook over to Twitter. Twitter taking a little bit too long.
There's a weird place,
man.
And they're changing shit up on Twitter too. Elon's doing some weird shit. So who knows who knows ultimately what that space becomes.
Right.
But people can follow you on Twitter. What's your at?
Yeah, man. You got JBook525 on Twitter.
Gotta follow JBook525
on Twitter.
JBook's always
follow me on Instagram, JBook525 on Instagram.
And you're always holding court on Facebook Lives. And you got, I see it. You got hundreds of people in there. You got something to say, and you're not afraid to say it. And so follow JBook on all his socials.
Yeah, because my thing is I don't do well when I have to be inside of a box, which is, I guess other relationships I had, the reason why the relationships faltered, because my thing is I'm not gonna, fit this box or fit this sports media, type thing. If I'm not in the space, to where I could say what needs to be said, when it needs to be said, and how it needs to be said, then I'm good with going live every week and saying what I got to say. I'm not gonna be, in this box. It's 2020.
You and I are like in that way, by the way.
Yeah, it's 2023. I'm not doing that. So
both of us get some fun exposures to the players and the team and stuff like that, but I try not to allow that to affect my opinion. Regardless of who they are, I'm gonna say what I feel, and it probably rubs people the wrong way, which is why I kind of keep I keep my distance.
And it's no hard feelings. Like my thing is, I think, and I'm paraphrasing what you said earlier. Like we speaking in present time. Like my only criticism is in regards to the game and the game itself. It's never gonna get personal. It's never go. It's the game in the game itself. And then with this whole sports media, I ain't cutting my hair. I ain't cutting my beard. I ain't wearing no suit. I ain't doing none of this shit. And my thinking, I can still keep up and be just as anybody else in the game. Going to reel me back in.
Nobody
will be back in, because I said. So my thing is, I'll do y'all a favor. I'll continue to go live on my page, and I'll leave it at that.
JBook, people want real.
Yeah.
That's why these spaces, these conversations, not just in football, but in life now, right? People are getting their information and their opinions, from different places. It's not fucking CNN. It's not Tom Brokaw. It's not your nightly news anymore. It's not ESPN anymore. People are going to the real shit. And so don't ever do any of that shit. Nobody needs to fucking tap dance for anybody. Be yourself and have fun and have fun doing it. And I think that's why people like you. And the ones that don't, and you're never going to fucking ever satisfy everybody. So don't even try.
One of my good friends, actually, I would go on the limb when it comes to this fans. And one of my best friends told me this. And he sent me this quote by Johnny Cash. He said, "Look here, bro, trust go get you killed, love go get you hurt, and being real is go get you hated." And one thing about, I don't know any other way how to be, is to be real. I'm a loyal dude. I'm gonna be real. I go tell the truth. I don't know any other way, whatever to do it. So I was told, like, even with this whole super fan thing, how we got to walk a fine line, how it's always good for us to be seen, but we don't want to be heard. I heard all this shit. My thing is, I only can be, what I know, to be, and that's real. And what you see is what you go get, and there's that. But hey.
Well, I personally love that about you, and I'm sure those watching this are gonna feel the same way. And we got a game in a few days, man.
Yeah, man.
I look forward to seeing you out there.
Yeah, man.
Always go Bucs, no matter
what. You coming
what.
to the tailgate?
I'm gonna be around. We'll be bouncing around. I unfortunately got to work that day, so I wish I could get out there early and do all the morning stuff and be around the media. But I will make my way out there, barefoot and ready.
All right, brother.
Love you, bro.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for having me. Anytime opportunity presents itself, for this to happen, I'm all in.
No doubt.
So I rock with you. I rock with loose cannons. You know, I fucks with y'all.
Yeah, you know the other guy, the loose cannons guys, they're all right too.
But man, I appreciate it, man. I really do. You know, I appreciate these times where we can, have our little dialogue. So
definitely.
Thank you for having me.
Won't be the last time. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Get a life, now they on sale. Then I might